Let me give you a scenario that proves to you how important discernment is. Imagine the baptismal site of Jesus. How many of us are still in church? Are we still here?
Yes, sir.
Imagine the baptismal site of Jesus. The heavens opened and we heard a voice. This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Hear ye him. Not true? Then the Bible says immediately he was driven into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Let's assume that this congregation were at that baptismal site and me, I was not there. Then after 40 days, Jesus now comes and is now preaching. Then where I am, I'm not like, I don't know. Let me know you, Jesus. But you understand what I'm trying to say? He's now preaching and I'm not like, And before that day, one of you came to tell me, say, Omo, that baptismal site, Omo, heaven open. Hey, we even heard a voice. And me, I was not there. So if you now come and tell me that kind of experience, then you now say that preacher that day is having a crusade, and all of us went. And as he was preaching, something about my spirit began to tell me that I may not know what is wrong, but I know that something is wrong with what is wrong. I may not know, but something in my spirit is telling me. And I come and I say, is this that preacher? And he say, yes. And I say, I don't know, but something in my spirit is not. What will you think of me? That's what Papa was explaining yesterday. You say, your own tomorrow, this is your Jesus. Just say, I said that the heaven open. You will need discernment to know whether in those 40 days Jesus bowed or not. Because if he had bowed when the devil tempted him, the last thing you will have remembered was the heavens opened. That's the last thing you remembered. You were not in that wilderness. That's how people were following a man of God. By the time he bowed, no discernment would know. He didn't know. You were still there. You were still there. If Jesus had bowed, how would you have known? The last thing we saw in public was the heaven opened. You will not know. You will not even test it. Is that what Papa was saying? You won't test it. Say we saw heaven open. God accredited this man and the devil came and tempted him. If he fell, how would you have known? You would never have known without the spirit of discernment. You would never have known. And that spirit of discernment you will need that day is not the gift. It's the one that by reason of use you have exercised. Are you hearing what I'm saying?